Hello everybody, my name is Jason
And I'm Katie.
and today we'll be giving you an introduction to Scratch and how it can be utilised within classrooms. Our vault for today is we want you to understand what Scratch is and we want to show you different ways that Scratch can be utilised and how it can be implemented into a primary school environment. Our will for the day is that you develop an understanding of how Scratch can be implemented into a primary classroom and understand how to create and develop your own Scratch scenario. So by the end of this lesson, you will have created a Scratch scenario, added and coded sprites, which are characters within Scratch. You would have added a backdrop, coded sounds, and created a sequence to enable your scenario to play.
So, what is Scratch? Scratch is a web tool designed to create interactive applications without the need for writing any code. Users of the site can create online projects using a block-like interface. Scratch is a multi-platform application that can be used both online and offline across a variety of devices including iPads, computers and tablets. Note that Scratch Junior is also available for the younger years. This is for children aged below 8. As we have stated, Scratch is a multi-platform application that can be used both online and offline. Today, however, we are going to use the online version of Scratch, which requires no downloading or account setup. Firstly, let's open up a web page and go to Google. Type in Scratch in the search bar, click on the first link that appears, or alternatively, click on the link that's on your screen now. Once the Scratch page loads, we want you to go up to the top left and click on the Create button. Wait for it to load. And you should now have a page like this. Now, you'll notice that there's a tutorials button at the bottom. We don't want this today, so we're going to click on the Close tab and close this down. Your screen should now look like this. Adding a backdrop. So, what is a backdrop? A backdrop adds a desired setting or scene. It makes the animation more interesting or engaging. Different scenes could be used for different projects. Today, we're going to show you how to add a backdrop into Scratch. So, let's add a backdrop. Take your mouse down to the bottom right hand corner and click on the image. Select that, and this is how we're going to add a backdrop. As you can see that there's a variety of different scenes. However, today we would like you to select the chalkboard scene. Note, scenes are also in alphabetical order, which makes searching much easier.
Adding sprites. What is a sprite? A sprite is an animated character that you can add to scenarios. It may have a variety of costumes. Now, this refers to the movements, not just the clothing that the sprite actually wears. In Scratch, movements is called costumes. You can add steps to your sprite to make them move, and sprites can become characters, instruments, and letters. There are a variety of different sprites that can be added from a range of different categories.
So, coding the sprites or adding animation. Scratch uses a block form of coding. Scratch has blocks of sound and movement. These can be added individually, they can be set to repeat continually, or for a certain amount of steps.
So now it's time to add some animation. The first thing we're going to do is add some animation to Anina. Now, if we click on Anina's costume, we'll notice that there's a variety of different dance motions. Now, this is because Anina is a dancing sprite. Now, to make her dance, the first thing we're going to do is go to Code. From there, we want to locate the Events tab and find the button that says when the green flag is clicked and drag it into the center part of the screen. Now, what this means is that when this green flag is clicked above Anina, something is going to happen, but we need to tell Scratch what that thing is. So to do this, we want to locate the Control tab and find the Forever code. Lock that in place like a puzzle piece. And now what we're saying is that when the green flag, something is going to happen forever. And what that something is we want Anina to cycle through each of her clothing. So to do this, we go to Looks, and we go to the next costume and drag it in there. So now, when I press the green flag, Anina will constantly dance. And then when we stop it, you'll notice that Anina lands on a random position. So we want to add a reset function. To do this, we want to go to the Events tab and find the button that says when space key is pressed. Now again, this means when space key is pressed, something is going to happen. So what that something is we want her to go back to her original position. To do this, we want to locate the Looks tab and find Switch Costume 2. And then we want to cycle that button back to her original position, which is the Anina stance. So now, when she dances, we can stop her, and we can press the space button, and she'll go back to her original position.
So the next thing we're going to do is add animation to the drum. Select the drum on the bottom right hand side. Now, to add the animation, first thing we're going to do is click on Events, and we want to click on the tab that says when this sprite is clicked. Drag that to the middle of your screen. That means that every time the drum is clicked, something is going to happen. So now to make something happen for that, the next thing we're going to do is go to Looks, and we want to select Say Hello for 2 seconds. Drag that under and connect it. Now we don't want our drum to say hello, we want our drum to say bang. So backspace hello and type in bang. We also want this to go for only 1 second, so again backspace the 2 and type in 1. Now our drum should say bang when clicked. And that's how we animate the drum.
The next thing we're going to do is animate our speaker. So to animate our speaker, we want to make sure that it's selected, and then go to the Events tab on the left. We want to find the when the green flag is clicked and drag it into the center. From there, we want to go to Control and find the Forever tab and connect that up. Next, we want to go to Sounds because we want our speaker to play some sounds, and we want to find the Play Sound Drum Funky Until Done. So we want to connect that into the Forever tab. Now you'll notice that we can actually change the sound from Drum Funky to something else. So let's change it to Scratchy Beat. So now when I press the green flag, Anina should dance and the speaker should play the Scratchy Beat.
The last thing we're going to do is code our letter. So again, make sure that's highlighted down the bottom right. Now, the first thing we're going to do is go to Events. We want the letter to come on when the green flag is clicked. Drag that to the middle of our screen. The next thing we're going to do is make it reoccur for forever. So go to Control, select the Forever Coding block and drag that onto the first block. Now we want to add a motion to this. Go up to the blue tab of Motions. We're going to get it to turn right for 15 degrees. Drag that to the middle of our Forever block. Now, let's see how it all comes together. Click on your green flag at the top, and don't forget to click the drum as you play it to make it go bang. Well done, you've just created your very own animation.
Saving and sharing. Scratch can be set up to have students share a project to the broader community. With this comes implications around cyber safety. This means that students can monitor and view projects completed by others, which even though monitored, may not be appropriate viewing. Scratch can be set up to run offline, and this stops students from sharing to the community and disables these issues of cybersecurity. Please click on the following link and watch the Minute with Mitch video.
So, where can Scratch be used in the classroom? As seen in the video, Scratch shows that students from many different cultures and language backgrounds are able to use and implement Scratch into their daily classroom learnings. Even though you can make it content specific, it generally covers many different skills from a broad range of curriculums. As touched on in the video, increasing the sizes of the images uses not only creativity for implementing the images, but also maths and problem solving skills to work out the size of the image that you require and where you want it to be positioned. By having block-like code, it enables students with a disability to access coding without the need for writing code. For example, students with low learning levels are able to click and drag code with an aide's reading assistance. This block-like code is also useful for vision impaired students as the code can be zoomed in upon.
So the strengths of Scratch. How does Scratch support teaching and learning in primary schools? Well, Scratch covers many curriculum areas. Scratch enables students the ability to create projects that express their ideas. It allows for the skill improvement at a simple level that is not seen as too daunting for pupils. Students can use Scratch to communicate ideas in many subject areas, for example, maths, games, English interactive poems, characters to tell stories, art, presenting knowledge on artists, etc. This enhances a student's artistic ability, and students can also develop fluency through exploration and experience.
So, what are some of the teaching implications that occur with Scratch? Some of the implications include cyber safety. It may ask for some personal details when creating an account. It's easy to get sidetracked as there are lots of animations and effects to choose from. Scratch requires access to the internet to initially obtain the program, which also has cyber safety risks, and it also requires electronic devices.
Cyber safety and cyber ethics. What would you need to teach students about using this ICT in the classroom? Well, even though all the projects are accessible on Scratch, it doesn't stop students breaching copyright by using outside image sources. For example, a student could use an image of Bart Simpson and create their own movie. Furthermore, it's also worth noting that teachers need to be aware of the safety concerns of Scratch, which requires students to provide their own personal information to utilize the program.
Further development and resources. Scratch leads to other coding programs such as Hopscotch. There is a Scratch Facebook page for teachers to visit, and Scratch also has an educator page which has guides, Scratch tutorials, and coding cards. You can also learn more about Scratch through YouTube, Lynda, and Scratch tutorials.
In conclusion, you have created a Scratch scenario. We hope that you have a greater understanding of what Scratch is, and that you understand the different ways that it can be implemented within primary school classrooms. Thank you for watching.